Welcome to Stats on Stats on Stats, an intricate look at popular characters from all sorts of media and determining what their stats would be in 5e. Today we'll be discussing Danny Phantom from the Nicktoons show Danny Phantom.
Is that actually the name of the show?
That is the name of the show, Danny
I forgot
Phantom.
what the name of the show was.
The whole theme song was like, he's a phantom.
He's a phantom.
He's a phantom.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Danny Phantom, or Danny Fenton rather, is a character in the show who gets his powers through a freak accident connecting his father's device to the Ghost Zone, where...
Remember that?
Yep, he gets his powers from that, and proceeds to use his powers for the good of mankind.
The good of mankind, he says.
Is he undead?
I would say no, actually. At least not entirely. I think he has a human form, and his other form is undead. I think Danny Phantom is undead. Danny Fenton is alive.
It's like a werewolf. A werewolf is not technically a wolf. It's just a form of his.
Right.
He's still whatever race he was to begin with.
Okay.
I'd also like to begin by saying that he most definitely fits the sorcerer origin. The way that they get their powers come from within, and it's usually caused by some sort of outside incident.
I actually was not aware of that. Legitimately enough, I did not know that was what the sorcerer's origin was.
Some of them can be born...
Be playing a sorcerer.
I know.
That's true.
You can be born with the power, but more often than not, it is actually an event that happens that gives you these magical powers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was not aware of that at all, actually. That shows how much I know about D&D. This is going to go well.
Alright, so I think Danny's lowest stat would probably be his strength.
I think I'd agree. If I remember the show correctly, which is not exactly possible. Yeah, his strength was pretty shite.
Now, Danny Phantom did have some really good strength feats, but it was very inconsistent, and for the most part, he has no real strength feats. He made the Earth intangible, but that's not really a strength feat. That's more of a power feat. So
just him being all fancy and shit. Although he does look a lot cooler in his ghost form.
Oh, he does. He does. He really does.
I don't know. I would argue to say his intelligence was actually pretty low.
I would say that, except for how quickly he did learn new abilities.
That's true.
He learned them at a ridiculously fast pace.
But does that tie into intelligence?
Or would that be wisdom?
Intelligence is what you know. Wisdom is putting into use.
Okay, so I think his wisdom would probably be fairly high.
Okay.
But his actual intelligence, it's not negative, I don't think.
But it's probably a solid 10.
It's a solid 10.
I think I think that goes because he's definitely.
He's not the most intelligent fellow, but he's not dumb.
Right.
He knows what he's doing for the most part. He doesn't have any negatives, but he's definitely not Einstein or Tucker Foley.
Tucker Foley. Tucker.
That was
Tucker.
his best friend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That was his black best friend.
Okay.
I'm just saying that he was
I
black.
thought you were gonna say his other friend was a goth. Now you racist.
I mean, she was a goth. That's what she do. She goth.
Was she really?
She was actually goth.
Was she?
Yeah, she was. Actually, hold on.
I
mean, I know what she looked like.
I mean, she was
was
dating
saying-
a ghost. They can't really get more goth than that.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Yeah, no, it's I know she had the blacked out hair and the spiked bracelets and all that other stuff.
Yeah, because her family is rich and they wanted her to be happy peppy, so she obviously did not want to do that.
She's like,
Right.
fuck that. I don't want to do that.
Anyway, I think Danny Phantom's dexterity would actually rate fairly high, somewhere between 16 to 18, with how well he normally dodges anything, really.
Yeah.
But is that just because he's a ghost, though? Because, I mean, as a ghost...
We're assigning stats, so yes.
But
that makes sense, because we're not talking about Danny Fenton, we're talking about Danny Phantom,
yeah.
who also has, unless there's a specific feat that we know of. Or
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if that's just just a quirk on his power in general.
Well, I mean, the quirk on his power would be the intangibility, but him actually dodging stuff, that would be dexterity.
So maybe his intangibility gives him a bonus to his dexterity.
But he dodges things before he goes intangible, so...
That's a fair point. You got a point there.
I'm going to say somewhere between 16 to 18. It's probably his second highest stat.
Alright, yeah, I agree with that.
That was his second highest stat?
Yes.
And you said his first highest stat was, what
Probably wisdom, I would assume.
Damn, his wisdom must be pretty high then. That must be at least...
Well, like when he first got his frost powers, he literally mastered them in a day, whereas it took the ghost who trained him many years.
Yeah. So, what, 20, I guess? 19?
Yeah,
I would
also
say straight up 20.
Yeah, because he's also beaten other opponents, like Vlad, who was much more experienced. He learned all of the moves really quickly in the fight itself.
That's a fair point. He learned,
And then applied them.
during the actual fight.
So if we're going by wisdom, by how quickly you can apply something, his wisdom is definitely way up there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
So I think strength's probably one of the lowest ones.
We'll say strength's probably around a 12. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, like
Probably gets a +1.
Because he's a ghost.
because he did have some pretty amazing feats. He did, but they were inconsistent. So I'm gonna have to say his stat is probably low at a 12. It's a plus, but it's still not extremely high. Dexterity 16 to 18.
About that.
Just with how he do.
How he do.
How he do indeed.
He do indeed.
His wisdom, again, I would rate very highly. Probably close to 20, if not 20.
Yeah, I'd say so.
His intelligence, not negative, but it's definitely a 10. It is a solid 10. And his charisma is awful. It is a negative modifier.
Yeah, I'd say, well...
And sorcerers do cast on charismas, but obviously he's not an actual sorcerer.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he always manages to not get a date.
That is a fair point.
The only 2 friends he has are the only 2 friends he's going to get.
That's a fair point.
It takes him like 3 seasons to make 1 extra friend. So I'm going with his charisma being a negative modifier.
Who's the extra friend?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Val.
Val.
The black girl who was rich and then like she was all
Racist.
happy peppy and then ended up hunting him down like later.
Ah, yes.
And then they became allies.
Weren't they? They were dating at one point, weren't they?
They were, yes.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
like I said, it took him like 2-3 seasons before he got to that point. So I'm saying
Aye.
his charisma is a negative.
Okay.
I would,
Okay, yeah, so what do you
Actually,
think?
no. I disagree, because that's Danny Fenton. Danny Phantom is... I would not say he's like super charismatic, but I'd say he's
He
probably
brings
about...
up a good point. We have been talking about Danny Phantom and not Fenton.
Well, while it does change a lot of his power sets and everything, Danny Phantom still gets his charisma from Danny Fenton because his personality does not change.
I don't know about that, because as Danny Phantom, he is much more confident in his abilities relative to Fenton.
Well, yeah, I mean, confidence does not mean charisma, though.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I guess if you're talking 5e, I'm gonna say yeah, I think it does.
Yeah,
I think it does.
I
Yeah.
think so.
because if you're confident enough to believe in something, or say for instance believe something is true, you can then roll a deception check, and if your charisma is high about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, if we're going by actual feats, like, look how many ghosts he tried to convince to go over, and they just completely ignored him, walked away, or punched him in the face.
That's a fair point.
So...
Like I said, I don't think it's a negative. I think it's max a 12, 10 to 12. I would say that's probably where it lies. Only just because.
I'm probably going to go with 8 to 10.
Fair point, or at least fair assumption, I would say. Fair rating.
Just with how many times he fails to convince ghosts to do what he wants them to do, I just don't think it's any sort of positive.
What you think?
I think that's about accurate, because, I mean, he may get a boost to confidence by being Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
And that definitely helps him, but I think I'm with Teddy here that it's probably... I'm going to say it's a 10. It's a flat 0.
5-0.
Because I don't think he gets any bonus to it when he's Fenton.
Yeah.
It's probably like an 8.
I think
Oh,
consistently.
when he's Fenton, it's probably a 6.
When it consistently is Phantom, I'd say a 10. He has like spikes into a 12 range from time to time. Like maybe he just gets like an extra bonus because he picked up some kind of blessing from a god or some shit.
Yeah,
But
right situation.
yeah, right situation, he might have a 12 on a good day, but consistently about a 10, I would say. So I'd say that's a pretty clean roundup, though.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the sorcerer's origins go, I
wouldn't normally mention a class like that. It just kind of fit perfectly with how sorcerers come to be.
Yeah, I guess for the most part. It just seemed...
Hi, thank you for watching Stats on Stats on Stats. This has been our episode on Danny Phantom. If you like this, please like and subscribe. If you want another hero that you are familiar with and that you want us to do, please leave us a comment down below. And if you like what you saw, please check out our other videos on the same subject. And I will see you next time.